Hello Spurs, welcome to Lesson 2 of Dolphins on Duty. Yesterday we looked at the central idea of our story and we determined that the central idea, after looking at text features and after reading our story, was that dolphins were used to help the Navy. So using our graphic organizer, the central idea is what goes at the very top. So let's pull up our graphic organizer so that you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. What's the central idea? And we determined, let me zoom this out, zoom it in just a little bit so that you guys can copy it down also on your graphic organizer. Sorry, there we go. The central idea of Dolphins on Duty is that dolphins are used to help the Navy because of special traits that they have. So looking at our story, I had highlighted in red or in pink the central idea, okay, and we determined that the story was mostly about these dolphins that they used to help the Navy. Now they're chosen because they have special features. So what I have highlighted over here in teal are the special features that the dolphins have, which is why they are used. So what I have highlighted here is, and both can quickly adapt to different environments like shallow waters or deep seas. How they are trained on how to look for and mark the locations of underwater explosives called mines, using echolocation, and easily see through dark, muddy waters using echolocation. And they can dive hundreds of feet below the surface, much farther than humans can. So now that I highlighted my supporting details, I'm going to fill that into my graphic organizer. Now in your graphic organizer that you have, if you have it printed out, it should look just like this. If you don't, you can easily draw a rectangle with 3 smaller rectangles below. It's like the hamburger that we learned about in class, where we have the top bun and the bottom bun is the main idea, because usually you find the main idea at the beginning of your story and at the end of your story. Like usually the beginning sentence is the main idea and it will close with the main idea again, repeated at the end of the story. And all the lettuce and meat and all that good stuff in the middle are your supporting details. You have to have the supporting details to justify the central idea. And we call it central idea or main idea. Usually central idea is what they're using now. But this says main idea, but we are looking at the central idea, which is the same thing. Okay, so the details I wrote, dolphins are used because they use echolocation and they use that to find things such as mines. Another supporting detail was that dolphins adapt to their environment easily and can swim in shallow, meaning not very deep, water or deep seas. And then the last thing that I wrote was dolphins are able to dive deeper than humans. So these details are all the special traits that the dolphins have, which is why the Navy uses them in the military to help them. So this week, as we are going through our story and we're learning how to determine the central idea of a story, and we're finding the supporting details, we have to take that information and write it out and respond to our reading. So for your performance task that is due later on Friday, you have a similar graphic organizer. You would put your central idea, your supporting details, and then you're going to respond, how does the text evidence support the central idea? Now, this performance task is going to be over a book that you choose. So together, as we go through our lessons will be over Dolphins on Duty. And I'm going to show you how. I showed you how to find the central idea. Today, we learned about finding the supporting details. Tomorrow, we're going to learn about how to use sentences to respond to our reading. And we need to use complete sentences and make sure that we're answering the question that's being asked. So I'm going to model that for you using Dolphins on Duty, but for your performance task that's due Friday, it's going to be over your own book that you're reading. It could be a book from Epic. It could be a short story that you've read, or it could be one of the books that you're reading now. However, if it's one of the books that you're reading now, it has to be a book that you finish, because you have to figure out you need to figure out what the whole main idea is about, and or the central idea and the supporting details. Now remember, Spurs, this week, since we are looking at the central idea, we're looking at how we can use text features to determine the central idea, you're only reading nonfiction books. So make sure when you're in Epic that you pull a nonfiction story or informational text. Same if you use one of your books that you've read at home, it has to be a nonfiction or informational text. All right, guys, if you have any questions, please come see me during tutorials. Have a good day.